Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good evening, good afternoon. Turn that down a little bit. How you guys doing? What's up, Sam? Hey, Justin. Sam's got the emojis down pat, like. People in the Discord are reacting to the news that I have to reschedule the stream on Friday, which is a bummer, but we got to do what we got to do. So we've got our quarterly planning on Monday, and I need a full day to pull data for that. So, friend Joe, how's my connection today? I hope it's good. Number one, I did not restart my router because I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna do the same thing and expect different results. Number two, I found out that I set my bitrate at 6500, which apparently is really high. So I lowered that, hoping that helps. But what's funny is that I'm just not gonna hit the end stream button early. Oh man. What's up, Nafe? T Real, good morning. How you guys doing on this Wednesday? You gonna make it through the week? Set that to full height. Hey, Darude. You feel all over the place, a little scattered? Yeah, same. Nate, you're working on an album cover. Oh man, that's a dream project for a lot of people. That's really cool. Is it for a band? Like a rock band or a hip hop artist? So last night I got sucked into the vortex of email optimizing. I got back from my run like late at night. It was probably midnight, and was setting up the newsletter for today. And I took a look at our deliverability. I tested it out with a tool, and it made some recommendations, and I just fell so deep down this like MX Records rabbit hole that I looked up. It was 2 a.m. So I'm feeling equally as scattered. Yeah, album covers are really fun. I think that album covers are the closest that you can get if you pursue this kind of album cover, but it's the closest you can get in the design world to a true art project. Yeah. We about to work. What's up, homie Robbo? Hey, good to see you. How was your stream yesterday? I gotta catch the VOD because if you're going over Figma basics, I need to catch up. Good. Good. Yeah, so far I'm seeing over on the stream health pane, I'm seeing that it's set to excellent, or not set to. It's telling me that my connection is excellent, which it normally doesn't do that. So I'm hoping that that bodes well for the stream today. Also, the other thing is that I realized that I also had Dropbox on yesterday, so I'm sure that one of the guys on the video team threw something in a folder and it started syncing it. So I'm kind of wondering if that's contributing to the issues too. The stream crashed, what, twice? 3 times? I was about to throw my peripherals through the window. Just learned something new today on Photoshop. Oh, that's really cool. So playing with like transparent skin tones or something like that. That's wow. Huh. I'm still choppy? No. Really? That's a bummer. Hey, Pidgethan. Right on. Well, if you're trying to learn Figma, then you should definitely give AAOA a follow. Make sure this is off. Just a bit. This is frustrating. Dropped frames and frozen cams. Wheel? Don't know what to do there, guys. Probably put out a, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to restart the stream to change any of this, so. But I don't want to drop to 720p. Playing smoothly for you in the UK. Okay, cool. All right, we'll just truck through. Just push on through. Bees still drilling. Yeah, we saw like 3 or 4 of them out there. No funerals though, so there we go. Yeah, I got that gig internet. I'm not dropping the 720. It's not happening. Because the thing is that like with the detailed work that I'm doing on the screen, it's small enough, or it's hard enough to see already, especially on like a mobile device. So it's gonna be really difficult to identify what's going on if I drop resolution. Yeah. Ethan Pidgeon. Oh, okay. I get it. Yep. Jahanasa. Good to see you. I don't recognize your name. Welcome to the chat. Check over on multi-stream. Forgot to switch over to the chat. Make sure to say hey to the people on YouTube. Hello, hello. All right, I wanted to show you guys something that I found was really, really cool. Let's see, desktop. So I found this guy's site. Cameron Sagi, or Sagi, and he has some great work, number one, but his website is beautifully simple, wonderfully done. He's got this really cool feature inside of his case studies. So if you go to one of the case studies, he's got this menu on the side that on hover, it reveals the the side nav here, and then as you're scrolling, the sections change. I think this is so brilliant, and I'm like, I want to steal it as is. I just want to rip the whole thing. So I'm trying to, in the back of my head, I'm trying to figure out how I can incorporate something similar. And if you tuned in on the streams where we did creative research, we found another company that did something similar over on Wild Foods, and they have this like scroll bar over here that like fills as you're scrolling through. So I have like it's just been in the back of my head ever since I found that like early this morning on Cameron's site over here, which is beautiful. You guys should go check it out. He's got great case studies. So this has been on my mind this morning, but I haven't had a chance to like really think about it or sketch anything out. So I'm not sure if we're going to get to design, but if we look at my sidebar here, I've got this "You Are Here" home like status bar, and I think that we can do something cool with this. So more on this later, but that's something it's just been in the back of my head. All right, so what are you guys gonna get done today? What can you commit to? Obviously, I'm very distracting on stream, but I'd love to see hear what you guys are working on and what you're doing. What's the roadmap? When am I gonna stream on the future channel? As soon as we get into Webflow, I'll dual stream on Twitch and the Academy, and that should be next week. Yeah. MDS joined the chat yesterday, which was really cool to see him, and he said, he basically takes sites to like the 80% mark in the design tool, and then moves into coding. And I'm kind of the same way. I'll probably do some mobile designs for the video, but it's definitely not gonna impact what I'm doing over on Webflow. What's up, John? Vampire Batman sketch. Nice. Very cool. Charlie is going to Webflow it. I think she's already in Webflow. Yeah, she was one of the first ones in there. But as far as like the whole development process on this site, I'm going to be doing it from end to end, with one exception. The thing is that like I'm pulling in Tim Ricks to help me with animations and interactions. So that's going to be really fun. Yeah, so Charlie's personal website is in Webflow. And then a couple of the microsites that they do over at, I think she works for ConvertKit. I think one or two of those are developed in Webflow. Tarok, not a designer here. What's Webflow? All right, so if you can think of like a tool that helps you develop a website visually, that's what Webflow does. So it kind of makes what we're doing here real on the internet. Ron, Charlie, T-Rex, and me. Yeah, Design Avengers. Hey, Mernon. Good morning. I might actually call Ron and see if he wants to collab on this as well. Be good to chat with him again. He's a great guy. I spent a bunch of time with him at Epicurrents in Yosemite, and just a really down-to-earth, genuine, happy guy. I hate saying Webflow is a WYSIWYG tool because it's more than that. You know what I mean? It is definitely one of a kind. It's probably the best description. So, you know, whatever you're putting on page, you're going to be producing, or that's what gets published. But I don't know. Seems to diminish the tool. Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. So today, I think we're going to wrap up these smaller pages. I'm going to do the collab page, which involves a form. So we're going to get into some form field design, and I've got some cool ideas for that. And then the other thing is that we've got pretty much every page outlined except for the two major ones, which are the case study pages and the My Story pages. And those are going to take some thought. And I think that's what I'm going to do over the weekend. That way I have the space and, you know, brain wavelength to deal with that. But the thing is that I noticed that the early blog post that we did here does not match the rest of the stuff. So this was kind of early in the exploration. So we're going to redo this page in our new design language. So to sum that up, working on the blog post today, blog post page or the content page, and then the collab page. So we'll just jump right in. John asks, now that I'm back east, when Creative South happens again, you gonna get there? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, one of the leaders of Creative South, it's actually a pro member. His name's Peter Del Tondo. And he introduced me to Mike, who founded it. And it looks like a really fun conference. I've been itching to get out to one of those things. I can't wait for this whole COVID thing to be over so we can be together again. Very cool. You guys can see the screen. Get to work. How about that? You just start with like, hey, let's work together. I'm not currently seeking job opportunities or onboarding new clients. Period. That's it. No. What else? How do you say that? Sponsorships is dumb, but let's work together. Not. Georgie's asking, why don't you use? Oh, why you said don't use sections and containers in Webflow? Let me think about my response so I can make it really concise. I think sections and containers in Webflow are great for entry-level users, but all they are div tags that come with styling that you either can't change or have to change if you wanted them to do something different. For example, containers are limited to a specific width, and that width is it's definitely not wide enough for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. And then sections, let's say just for a crazy moment that you wanted to change the background color, but you didn't on multiple sections, but you didn't want to reclass every section, and you definitely didn't want to say change it on the body. So the natural way to go about that is to wrap all of the sections in their own div, and then class that div. But because sections can't be nested in other things, you can't do that. And so I just recommend sticking to div tags and then styling everything yourself. The trick is though, is that you have to go into the div settings and make sure that things are classified the right way. I forget what the term is that Google uses, but it's you have to classify a section as a section, and a container as a container, and a button as a button. But the crazy thing is that even Webflow's section doesn't automatically categorize itself as a section. So you have to do that with those anyways. So I would just avoid those just in case you ever wanted to do something crazy. So that's the answer. Morning, Mood Raid. Outlaw Cheetah, thank you for the follow. Good morning, Sean. Mohammed, thank you. You got good vibes today. All right. Something like that. Go. It's kind of a run-on sentence, but it's all right. So in my sketch down here, I have an idea of putting like a 3-column text layout below this, where I just bullet point the couple things that I'm interested in collabing with. So like having social collabs, interviews, speaking at live events, and brands partnerships, like these 4, I guess it's 4 now. Kind of like going into more detail of what those mean to me. So what that involves is 4-column layout with kind of bullet points, I guess, under each heading. Megan, how are you over on YouTube? Siabanga Malinga, hello. Any tips for transitioning into a full web designer position as someone who's currently stuck in the generic designer position? Are you a freelancer? Are you working with clients? Or are you kind of like in-house? I'll tell you what, actually the answer is really just the same. Any way you slice it. Do more web stuff, even if that means personal projects. And put it out to the world. Change your positioning on your portfolio. Stake your claim of expertise and then prove it with the work. I think I've done this before. Yeah, over here. Here we go. Yeah, I just want to give people some context before they reach out as to what these things are and what I'm going to expect. Mainly with the public speaking, because that's brokered through the Futur, and it's paid. So I want to set that expectation before they reach out. We get a lot of inquiries from people wanting us to come speak, and it's gotten to the point where we kind of have to charge for it in order to control our availability. Hey, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. Megan, how do you set up the grids on this software? It's pretty easy. You want to click your artboard, which we can rename this. So you want to click your artboard, and then over here you'll see grid, and there's a layout option. You can go over to Square and get those 8-pixel square or 10-pixel grid here. I prefer using the layout option, and you can set all the settings here. So if you wanted to control all the margins around the grid like I've done here, you can, or you can make it symmetrical, and then you can turn it off with a keyboard shortcut, and I think it's Command Shift quote. Yeah. I have it set to a hotkey on my mouse, which is working today, which is great. Am I sounding robotic? Oh my God. Is the okay, so let's see, what is the question? Ethan says, when you're vertically spacing elements or sections, are you just eyeballing it? Yes and no. So I'm a little bit OCD, and I'm going with usually like 240 pixels or 360 pixels between these things. But these are going to be spaced according to the width of the site. So when we go to develop, it's going to be dynamic. It's going to react to the browser size and resize accordingly. But right now what I'm doing is, I just go into the preview window and I look at the pacing, the vertical pacing through the design as I scroll. So like I wanted this to be all one thing. And then I wanted, the list here to pop up before we lose all this text. So this could be another screen. So you just kind of look at like, as the user's scrolling through an average browser size, like what's the picture that you want them to see at any given point. So it's a little trial by error. You could throw a grid on there, but the grid would have to float with you as you scrolled. So it's not like designing a poster, because the grid would actually move down the page. I've got horizontal lines here that I use to kind of control where the nav is and where the sidebar is and stuff like that. And this was based on kind of like a diagonal lines according to these grid lines here. So I drew diagonal lines down, and wherever they intersected these grid lines, that's where I placed the horizontal rules. But again, this would have to scroll and resize. So the rest of the stuff is just eyeballed. On the 8 pixel hype train, when I use it, I actually turn on, I turn it to 10 pixels. Oh, coffee's gone. What that means. Celsius, I think this is the last of the strawberry mango. Good and Gather. My favorite so far. It is my absolute goal in life to get a sponsorship by a seltzer company. Have I seen a 4 pixel grid? I mean, I guess you can just cut the 8 pixel in half. I've not seen that link, though. Whenever you're adding more to your grid, like more squares or more columns, it gets to the point where like you lose the restrictions and your sandbox gets so big that it doesn't force you to think as creatively. Like working in 5 columns like this, it's always a challenge to do something that really would require 3 columns. Like, how do you manage that? So like if I had, for example, if I had 3 of these, move that one down. If I had 3 of these, how would I position these on the page? Would it be the same thing, or would I do something crazy like pull these 2 down? You know what I mean? So I think the restrictions are actually really good. So if you're going from, 6 columns to 12 columns, or, I've seen people do 15 columns, and it's just, there's so many options. I don't know. I think it's not as fun, to be honest. Mo options, mo problems, exactly. Dude, Zach with the dad jokes, man. Okay. Let's see. So after this, we need a form. Could be kind of cool to do something weird like that. Okay, so this is where we break into the form. And I don't have an example to show you, but I've always been obsessed with those forms where the label looks like placeholder text. So it's like inside the form box, and then when you click on it, the label animates up into the corner or something. It kind of gets out of the way of the cursor. And I've never been able to figure it out in Webflow until now, and I think I know how I'm gonna do it. So we're gonna try for that. So first, instead of a drop down, because I'm not a huge fan of drop downs, I want to have the option for the user to classify their message in these 4 categories. So I think I'm going to add like a series of buttons up at the top of the form. Let's see. Let's see. All right. So this. And then I want to add these. Let's see. Got to be a way to do this. So XD has this new feature, well, new for me, called padding. And I don't think I've ever used it, to be honest. But the whole idea behind this feature is that I should be able to double click into this group and start typing something different. And then the box around it should resize according to what I'm typing. So let's see if we can figure this out. Maybe I need to make it a component? No. Okay, so I see what's going on. We've got a group, and then the rectangle is inside of the group. So if I delete that and then style this group, maybe? No. Yeah, you and me both, AA. I'm interested to see how XD does this as well. I am not averse. I am not afraid of pulling up a tutorial, but I want to see if I can figure this out first. Maybe turning, nope. Okay, so that's built into responsive resize. Padding. Let's put 10 there. So if I resize this, okay. What in the world? let's get out of this and go ungroup this. Could be a layer order thing. So we add padding here. Yeah, it was. All right, so the only thing that I did there, guys, was I grouped them. Here, let's start from scratch. All right, so if I've got a piece of text here, and then a rectangle, and let's go ahead and style that. To get the padding to work right, let's group this, then turn padding on. You can see right there it's 0, and that's because inside this group, the rectangle is on top of the text. And so the thing that I did to fix it was move the text up inside the group, and then all of a sudden the padding is actually working. Okay, so that makes sense. Let's do 20 pixels on top, and then maybe 60, 20, 60. Okay, reformat this. So you can see that it's going to cause us some issues because it's got this spacing built into the text. So I'm just going to fix that with padding. I'm sure we could change the text positioning, but I don't want to fight that battle right now. So I'll decrease this here until it looks about right. There we go. Then we should be able just to type in what we want. So let's see. Collaboration. Nice. Center that, and then we should be able to yep, that's really handy for these buttons. Brand partnership. What was the other thing? Speaking. I gotta work on this wording because this is too long. What can I do for you? Are you able to add padding to the text box directly? I don't think so. I think now that I've worked my way through this, I think that the padding is set based on whatever rectangle is on the bottom of the group. So like, let's see, because it has to be a group. You don't have that option to add padding under responsive resize on just the text box. So if I were to, add more stuff in here, it would just increase size, and your padding would stay the same here. See, you can barely see it, but it's like this dotted blue line there. That's pretty cool. Young Khan in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, dude? How are you? You guys have mentioned Young Khan a couple of times. I highly recommend giving him a follow because his streams are just as chill, just as relaxing, and pretty inspirational. Jelly Beans, Loomjacker, Jeff. Let's see who else. Princess Peachy Peaches, thank you for the follow. Hey, congrats! You got in for the first vaccine shot. Nice, cool. Zeppu, hello. Mellow Sprout, good to see you. Yeah, the Burns endorsement. Yep. All right, so I think on hover or when this item is selected, we'll just do a simple background change. If we were really bold, we could do something like that. It's a little spicy. So the one thing that we haven't really had in this site is an actual button. We've had text links, right? We've got the small text links here, and then we've got larger text links here. And the hover for this is pretty simple. It's just going to flip over to, you know, a filled in version of this, probably going pink on hover. But we've not yet explored buttons, which is crazy. And the thing is that with buttons, the way that I like to do buttons is just super simple. Just to have these like outlined boxes on hover, the background color changes, really, really simple. I've thought about like trying to do some kind of crazy cool stuff like they do over on Twitch and go 3D. I don't know that really feels like my brand. Let's do something like this. Oops. Not gonna lie though, that looks kind of cool. Obviously these lines don't match or anything. I'm just trying to get the vibe of this. Do a deep dive on buttons and auto layout in Figma tomorrow. Nice. That's kind of cool. So So does Figma have that, I guess it's called auto layout, but does it have like the padding and that kind of same feature? When I say it's been a while since I've been in Figma and working on a project, it's literally been probably 8, 9, 10 months, maybe a year. Yeah. All-time question, Figma or XD? I like XD. I like Figma too. I think they're both good. All right, so the thing with this is that like the buttons in their inactive state or their static state looks very similar to a form field, because like we could literally just pull this down and then that could be a form field right there, to be honest, especially if we just expanded. Oh, it's expanded this. So we need some way to differentiate the two. We just do like underlines for our form field instead. Let's see, what size is this? I think it's 22. Yeah. I do not like splitting pixels, and I have to remember to turn that option off inside XD. You can set it so that you don't split pixels like that. Fact, I think I'm going to make this form fit into these 3 columns. Uh-oh. Stream preview. There we go. Everything okay on your guys' end? You didn't lose anything? All right, so underlines are great and all, but the thing is that like when you get to these, multi-line text areas, they can be a little bit confusing for the user. So ideally what would happen is the person clicks on this and then as they type, like the vision in my head, this thing just gets longer. But that may not be intuitive for a lot of users.